Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Payton Collier podcast. Today's guest is the drummer for Texas country band Flatland Cavalry, Jason Albers. Flatland Cavalry was formed in 2012 in Lubbock, Texas by Jason and singer-songwriter Cleto Cordero. Since then, the band has been stomping boots all across the honky-tonks, dance halls, festivals, and theaters of America. Their latest single, Mountain Song, is available now on all streaming platforms. They're one of my very favorite bands, and their thoughtful, humble sound sits easy on the ears, heavy on the heart. I hope you enjoy listening to this conversation as much as I did having it. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Albers. Thanks for being here, buddy. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Man, what a couple of years you guys have had.
Yeah, man, it's really been a whirlwind. Like we call it the vortex. Sometimes you get on the road for about 2 weeks at a time. Anything after that, you kind of lose all train of time, you know, and it just time flies when you're having fun.
3 full-length albums out now. Welcome to Countryland is the most recent. That was July of last year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which you took part in writing some of those tunes. I think my favorite one, No Ace in the Hole.
No Ace in the Hole, yeah, man. It was during COVID. Well, we didn't have too much to do, so we just got in the woodshed and just started coming up with stuff. And anybody who had ideas about a riff or whatever, and Cleto had that first verse and chorus already just kind of down, and it really had that Jason Isbell feel, like a hard rocking almost. And then I was like, man, we need to sit down and finish that, and it came to be what it is. So it's one of the funner ones to play at the show. We always try to keep that one in the show. 2
days, you've got your newest song coming out.
Yeah, Mountain Song.
Mountain Song. You guys went from down in the plains, down in the valleys of Texas, and now you're working your way up to the mountain, baby.
Surely enough, man. It was Colorado, Montana. Those are always places that show us a lot of love, you know. So, yeah, once again, you know, Cleto, he's got the pen and he's really good at it. And, you know, we just throw our own little splash of color on it where we can, and, you know, just throw it out to anyone that would like to listen. Really as simple as that.
Yeah, so you and I met the first time I saw the band. It was at the Rev Room in Little Rock, Arkansas, which I think y'all only played that one once because you've been at the Hall, and I know you've been in Fayetteville. And so you got to, let me rep my hogs here. You got to call the Hogs.
The call of the Hogs was done plenty of times. And also Coach Neighbors, the head coach for the ladies basketball team, the dude's a riot for one. He's actually got like a telly that's shaped as an actual, like the Arkansas hog. Like
no way.
He's
the Razorback.
The Razorback. He's got a Razorback, a telly. Anyways, he let Reed, our guitar player, actually use it for an encore after the call of the Hogs, and it was easily the most Arkansas moment I've ever had in my life.
It was
crazy.
Did he judge the quality of the guitar? Like, was he like, that's a legit guitar? He was like, that's a piece of shit.
No, I mean, really, he was just ripping balls on it anyway. So I think we were playing like Take Me Old Country Roads or something.
Yeah.
And
I discovered the band in like 2018, I want to say. I was on like Pandora or something. And Pretty Women came on Shuffle. It might have been like Drive By Truckers Radio or something like that. And then I remember the first time I heard that No Shade of Ruby Red Revlon lip liner could cover the sad in her smile, and I was like, "What the fuck are these?
Who is this, man?"
Yeah, so I grabbed you after that show because you guys were hanging out. I think after we'd all been done hanging out with Nando, because Nando's kind of the mascot of the band, and who we're talking about,
yeah, man,
is like because we know he's going to watch every minute of this. He's going to drop whatever he's doing and watch this podcast that we did. But he's kind of the mascot of the Flatland Cavalry. Like he's a big part of the team. I think he's. I've seen you guys twice. I saw you. In Little Rock there in October, I think it was, of this year. And then I saw you in February at Marathon Music Works.
Yeah.
But, anyway, back on Nando. Yeah. So you guys have such a good social media, like a commitment.
Presence.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because, you know, he's always there. It's like, you know, it's hard. Once you get to that level where you can hire somebody to really document what's going on, that is kind of a beautiful thing about
it is, man.
Social media in the modern age.
And I feel like we stole him away. Like he was going to school down in San Antonio. He was about a year out, and he got some pictures at a show we were doing in the hill country down there. We're like, man, we should get this guy on more often. And man, that was 2018. I think he drove up to Lubbock to shoot us in the studio at the first time he'd ever really driven out of San Antonio by himself. Yeah. Like, I mean, we got him when he was a youngster, and And now, man, he's a star, man. He's in the best part about him too. He's got the camera and he's able to just let all of our characteristics kind of shine and bring it out of us, because we all get camera shy or just, once that record button hits, sometimes you just start thinking too much. But man, he's the best.
Yeah, I think too. Yeah, that you have the camaraderie, and that he's with you in those genuine moments where you guys are all cracking jokes and laughing, so that he can kind of be like a fly on the wall and be a part of it. I think it's like a cool thing that shares with your fan base what it's like to actually hang out with you guys, and not everybody has that.
As far as the music goes and the songwriting and everything, I feel like this group of guys with Flatland, for the most part, when we started in college, it was an early time in our musical careers, like our musicianship, so we're all learning to play our instruments together. And but at the same time, when we weren't playing our instruments together, we were going to football games, the Texas Tech football games, or out to the bars and catching shows and hanging out. And I think that culture still stays in, so it's just everyone enjoys being around each other, which is literally half the hardest part of being on the road. You got to like who you're on the road with, right? So,
well, even if you like them, you're going to see the worst of each other, or have a bad day, or be like, man, I'm tired of being on the road. Need to catch up on my Netflix.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But yeah, that's great, dude. And so you guys also played the Opry for the first time. What, in the last 2 years, you sold out Billy Bob's Texas, released the third full-length album.
Man, we've made some big moves, or so a divine intervention, as I like to think of it, really too. It's just and a testament, just keeping your nose at the grindstone, and good things will happen.
Work hard every day,
and like I say, enjoy your work. It's a privilege to work and whatever you do. And I figured out I feel like I've almost kind of schemed the whole system. I figured out a way to do this with some great friends. But yeah, great opportunities like the Opry. I believe that was last October. And man, everybody's parents were there, and man, I even shed a tear at the end. Just it was a standing ovation. It's like, man, we started this thing in a garage.
Right. You ever get like imposter syndrome? Like,
oh yeah,
I mean, people talk about it like when your life and career starts to go so well, and you're like, I'm just a regular dude from the streets of Texas. What am I doing on the Grand Ole Opry stage?
Exactly. Man, I've definitely gone through seasons of that in my life. Gabe Pearson, drummer for the Turnpike Troubadours, I was talking to him about it years ago, and he put me onto a book called Effortless Mastery, because I was just telling him, I was like, dude, I shouldn't be here, and I'm messing up on stage and all that stuff. And pretty much what he's telling me, he's like, hey, you're thinking too much. Music is something it's the feeling element to it. Of course, you got to know and you got to think a little bit, but you start thinking too much, that's when you start messing up. It's just pretty much when you just start fucking up the whole thing, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that imposter syndrome that you're talking about, I think, you get to a certain level of anything, you just kind of start questioning, like, do I deserve this?
Yeah.
And you just got to be nice to yourself.
Yeah. My karma's way too bad for this to be happening to me right now.
Right.
And yeah, so you and I talked at that show in Little Rock, and I talked to you after, and I think you were like, you had either just moved to Nashville, this would have been October of last year, and you're like, if ever you're in Nashville, and hit me up. And then I was like, hey, I'm actually moving there.
You did.
We talked a little bit on Instagram and stuff, and then we got coffee one day and talked for 2 hours about growing up in the Bible Belt.
Yeah, growing up in the Bible Belt.
And liking hardcore metal music.
Yeah, we
talk about like Under Oath or something.
Yeah, man, that stuff goes together like oil and vinegar.
Oh yeah, baby. Nothing like Texas country and Under Oath, man.
And yeah. I was like, man, I can't even Norma Jean, or I can't even remember some of the stuff I used to listen to. But man, yeah, there's a lot of music going on in Texas that I really dove into later in high school and in college. Actually on the way over here, I was listening to, you told me about Charlie Robinson's El Cerrito Place live at Billy Bob's.
When did I tell you about that? I'm always telling people about that.
Dude, we were at Ugly Mugs. The only other time we've like hung out here in Nash, we were at Ugly Mugs. And for some reason, I think we had just sold out Billy Bob's, and you were asking about it. And you were telling me that was like one of your favorite just live cuts, just because it shreds. And I was just listening to that on the way over here today because I remembered that about you. But yeah, it was cool.
Hey,
It was great. Nothing more.
I'm glad that you remembered it because it's too, and poor Charlie. I mean, he had some health stuff, so like he ain't singing anymore. But he just had like such a smooth baritone voice, and then so the way that song is so slow and soft and sincere, and then the level they take it to that
yeah, man,
Freebird style jamming.
He has such an edgy personality too, which I feel like really resonates where I come from in Midland, Odessa. Like there's a lot of oil field workers, and so it just all of his songs, man, they're great. And his brother, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Bruce Robinson.
No, I don't know if I know him.
He's a great writer. And also he's a producer. I think he started what is it? Charlie Crockett's on it. The Next Waltz. And he's working with Charlie Crockett. And we just cut an EP with Bruce last weekend over at this studio down near Austin. And
you guys did?
Yeah, the band? Yeah. We were just so speaking of the Robinson clan, but yeah, we cut it over at his place. He calls it the bunker. It's where the panhandlers cut all their stuff. And man, it's awesome. Everything's straight to analog tape, and it is literally 16 tracks on that tape. Don't screw it up, or it's staying.
Yeah, Did you feel like more pressure recording on tape? And
absolutely. Yeah. And that place is it's so low volume. Like, I mean, I was playing with brushes the whole time, even just whispering, you could hear it very loud. Just the way that they mic everything up, it's just right in front of you. So that's where we cut the Mountain Song too. That's coming out on Friday.
Is that a part of the EP or?
Yeah. So that'll be like the first single out of the EP. I'm not exactly sure when the EP is coming out, but yeah, hopefully by the end of the year.
We'll be watching.
Yeah, right.
We'll
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug on the. Yeah, dude, that's so crazy that you guys did the tape recording because I mean it really is it's such a testament of musicianship, but really I mean to be at the level where your whole band is good enough to be recording a tape, like you have to know each other's almost like
man,
breathing rate. It's just like.
We've been hanging out quite a bit for the last couple of years, but one of the cool things about it, I was talking to Bruce, it's not exactly as much as the musicianship, which is I feel like you do need to be at a certain level, at least to understand like, the stakes of it. But it's almost like a capture of time, where you are, where this band is, at this certain moment with musicianship, how they play with each other in 2022. So you can look back 20 years from now.
Yeah.
And it's just, I feel like everybody's, a lot of bands have those moments, but.
Yeah, well, yeah. And it's that this is actually what we sounded like, because there's is there any like overdubs or anything like that?
Yeah, there's a couple overdubs here and there.
Just the Jason Albers chorus, 7 harmonies in the background.
Yeah, more or less. I think I did have a 2-measure shaker solo. So. Really
be looking out, everyone.
Yeah,
the shaker solo.
No, man, but Gletto, he was live tracking vocals too and everything, more or less. Playing guitar and singing. It's all what you hear, and that's really the coolest part about it. It is literally us right there. No computers, especially afterwards when you're listening and mixing. You're not using your eyes. You're not using Pro Tools. Nothing on a screen. You're closing your eyes or whatever, and you're using your ears. Like, I think we need a little more, a little less.
Right.
Which is super challenging.
People really don't know just how unbelievably difficult it is to record a tape. I mean, do you remember I remember going in with my first band, saving up, taking us all summer long to save up $350 to book this studio in Arkansas. And thinking we're so ready, we're the best band in the world. We sound like a Metallica cover band. And we go in there and can't even play with the click, just you're just we're ready to rock. We're going to the studio, telling your friends and stuff.
Yeah, I feel that, man. That's exactly the first EP come May. That was most of ours, except for John, most of our first primary experience standing in a studio playing full band. And yeah, it gave us something to tour off of. We still play some of those songs today, No Shade of Green and all that.
Oh yeah, that's one of the, y'all often close with that or nearby that, because that really brings everybody back to home base.
Yeah,
No
right.
Shade of Green.
It's high energy for a good live show for sure.
Yeah. All right, so let's dial it back. Let's get into the biography part. Which part of Texas were you born in?
I grew up in West Texas. I was born in Odessa, Midland. Best way I describe it is if you've ever seen the movie Friday Night Lights or read the book
Yes.
about the Odessa Permian Panthers, the high school where high school football is life.
There's a show
that
too, right?
Yeah, based off of that. Mostly, like I was saying, it's an oil field town, just like a lot of West Texas, oil ranching, farming, oil field town, and Odessa and Midland are right next to each other. And Odessa being the blue collar, Midland being the white collar. They say raise hell in Odessa, raise kids in Midland.
Ah, yes.
So there's always been, just rivalry, all that area. It really is a bubble of its own. But yeah, I grew up around there, and I still call it home. Siblings and parents, they're still around there, and I try to get back there when I can.
When you were growing up, did you latch on to country music early on in your life, or was it just such a part of the culture that you didn't think much of it?
Man, it was always part of the culture. Like in the background, it was always on. Especially, Texas has their own splash of country music. So great writers like Robert Earl Keen. I've actually got one of his T-shirts.
Oh, nice, dude. Represent.
Yeah,
REK, baby.
Like Robert Earl Keen, and then later on, Randy Rogers, they'd come through. Like Willie Nelson, they were really the only ones that kind of consistently came to town, just because Midland, Odessa is in the middle of nowhere. So I think they had a fan base of their own, but country music in itself is what everyone was listening to. Everybody drives a truck. Everybody goes, shooting, hunting on the weekends or everything like that. So it was just so ingrained in the culture. As a kid, I'm like, yeah, this is the center of the world. Doesn't everybody live like me?
Yeah.
Which I found to totally be not true after I started touring.
Yeah. And went to, what's the farthest you guys have been? I know y'all went to like England, dude.
Yeah.
Or you played that festival with Luke Combs and them.
Yeah, the
UK.
country to country. That was London, Glasgow, and Dublin. That's definitely the furthest I've ever been for a show or just personally. But yeah, it's totally different from West Texas. I'll definitely say that.
What's it like the, all the young, want to be cowgirl girls that come to the show, like cowboy hats and stuff. So like if you go over to the UK, are they like showing up in like straw hats and
you betcha,
booty short? They're like jean shorts.
Yeah, it's definitely a clash of cultures. They'll wear their, Run DMC Adidas shoes with, their black Tim McGraw straw hat.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I think it's one of those like, oh, it'd be fun to put on some boots, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
and you actually find that here. It's people just want to, get away from their own lives and do something different, so you can go anywhere, New York, any city, and you'll find, hey, it would be fun to throw on some boots and stomp on the ground and drink beer.
Yeah. I think you just have to like learn how to not take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
Like you have to really just kind of know life is a game, and
it really is, man. Sometimes
enjoy it.
I think about that too, and then I realize, oh no, Russia has invaded Ukraine still. Like all that stuff is going on. Like there is bigger fish to fry. So if ever I get worried about music, the state of Flatland, which I don't, but like sometimes you can really dive deep into that. I was just talking about this with my dad yesterday. I was just like, man, there is bigger problems going on in this world, and I feel like most people are making the world go round, as do what we do, musicians. But I feel like we're taking care of the people that are really making this world happen.
Yeah,
on the weekends. So I just try not to take it too seriously.
Yeah. I guess, you guys have been bouncing on and off tour since, last August or something?
Mm-hmm.
So like almost, would you say it's your busiest year of shows to date in your life?
Especially the summertime. It usually ramps down during holidays and when it gets really cold. But, summertime, everybody's out. Everyone, especially in the North U.S., I didn't realize where I come from, it's triple digit heat most of summer, but hey, in Montana, it's actually beautiful. And people, for those 3 months, the whole summer. So a lot of people take a lot of that time to go up north, hang out, tour up there. So we do that as well, and just get to see the most beautiful places on earth, dude. It is absolutely. We just got back from Montana doing a show out in Whitefish, man, and we sat there for one of the nights and just kind of looked at the mountains, man. Took a nice little gummy and.
I was gonna say just ate 2 pounds of peyote and
yeah, right, man. And it was just listen to some jazz.
Yeah,
no. But awesome. we just sat there and hung out, man. And it's a joy to be on tour. But yeah, it really is. It's a privilege.
And we talked about this like when we hung out at the coffee shop several months ago. But I think it's got to feel good to be a part of a group that is preserving things that people love about a genre, rather than just like watering it down. And I mean, I play on Broadway full time since I've moved here, just stabilizing my income. And the Broadway district, it's an interesting thing now because 90% of your population on the weekends is like bachelorette parties and cowboy hats, and everybody's trashed. It's kind of like Bourbon Street now. It's just crazy.
Bourbon Street with rednecks,
but,
really.
Yeah, but all that to say, when everything's gotten so electronic and so 808, hip hop beat, and you guys are doing things like you just cut an EP, doing the tape,
Yeah,
thanks
man.
Thanks for keeping it real.
It's really the only way we know how, not keeping it real, but like just what we're playing. Man, I couldn't tell you how to produce a song with 808s on it. Yeah. It's nothing against it by any means. It's just like, hey, this is what we do and what we've always done. It's the music we like listening to. So, it's just kind of comes out of us.
I think a common misconception too, I think Merle Haggard talks about this or something in that Ken Burns documentary, where there's an assumption that blue collar people and fans of country music are, dumber people.
Yeah, simple.
And so what's great about, like Flatland and Tyler Childers and Sturgill and Isbell and some of those guys, while taking the genre in their own direction, they're still preserving like a cerebral, like very emotional, intelligent factor that these normal blue collar people do. They are complex, even though they live simpler. And I think people that stay true to that, the fans and the listeners really latch on to the sincerity of it.
Yeah.
And that was found in, like your old country music stuff too. And so when it just gets in this booty shaking, tailgate, screw-in territory.
I mean, there's a time and place for it all,
yeah, you're like, you throw me a couple beers, I'll listen to some Luke Bryan.
Yeah, don't worry. There's times in my life, where I shake my ass to Ludacris or something. I like all genres, whatever, But Isabel put it pretty good, I heard on Twitter. He's like, there's a lot of burgers in this town. Mm-hmm. No one's forcing you to eat McDonald's, you know?
Yeah.
So, but sometimes at 2 a.m., kind of like it's the only thing open, and I kind of like McDonald's, right? No.
Yeah, I roll through that cookout drive-through.
Yeah, that cookout.
Have you been to cookout yet?
Oh yeah.
It's did you know about it before living here?
No, so I moved up here with one of our managers, Dylan Wright of Deep Roots, and he
sup Dylan.
Sup Dylan. He told me about it, and he's like, yeah, there's a place where you can get a cheerwine shake and a chicken wrap and a burger and chicken strips and like anything you want, tacos. And I was like, it's got to be expensive, right? He's like, no, it's like all $5 combined. I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
And then, you wake up in the morning, like that Willie song, go to bed at 2 with the 10, wake up at 10 with the 2, but in food.
Yeah, your body
in food
is
terms, yeah.
It's almost as bad as a hangover the next day.
And your body's screaming, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what's your sleep schedule like? Like, are you pretty regulated between the road and the bus? Like, you got it down now, or
no?
Like,
not at all.
Is it are you pulling a yellow card?
Yeah, man.
Sleeping all day, staying up all.
Yeah, man. It is. It just depends. Like I said, we get on the road for more than 2 weeks. This vortex happens. We have no idea, really, recollection what time it is. But during that time, we get done, and I try to get in bed by 2, and up by 10. I try to get 8 hours. Doesn't matter what time. There is no schedule, but I need to operate on 8 hours. So, and then when I get home, I try to get on my wife's schedule, and she's, more or less, she's working at the management company, Make Wake, and she is, on her normal schedule. So I just try to figure that out. So lots of coffee, lots of melatonin gummies.
Oh, yeah. Lots of melatonin. Wasn't she doing the news prior?
Yeah, she was doing news. That's where I met her, out in Lubbock. I was finishing up over at Texas Tech, and she's that was her first job doing news out there. And I met her on Bumble, and she will not still admit that to this day. But yeah, we met on Bumble, and I got her out to a show. We had a 2-night stand over at the Blue Light, and she just kind of floated in.
And she just never left.
Dude, I was kind of like Pepe Le Pew, when he's chasing after the girl cat, just with hearts in his eyes and just,
Yeah, just that cartoon love, baby.
Yeah, man. So.
Yeah, you got one of them Veronica Corning stones.
Oh,
my
for
man.
sure.
Yeah, dude. Look at Albers. He's gone soft on us like some schoolboy bitch.
Mostly.
But, so was it really like just something about her just swept you up?
Yeah, man.
Like immediately?
She was totally opposite of me. I'm such a extrovert, and I'm almost going to say whatever I think. I'm getting better at that now. But she's just has this quiet confidence. Like I said, she floats in the room. She's got elegance and grace, man. And there's something about that I was just like, all right. And the opposites attract kind of deal. It's totally a thing for us.
Yeah.
So
very cool. And you guys got married 6 weeks ago or something?
It was a month yesterday.
A month yesterday. Yeah. Congrats on that. You had
thank you.
We were talking about earlier, you had People magazine come out. Yeah. I like that one in the car.
Dude, that thing was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a 58 Bel Air.
Maybe I'll pop up a picture over the video right here.
The 58 Bel Air, and it was pristine. And the guy that owned it, he's a sweet old man. And man, I was wanting to use the ashtrays in the back seat. He wasn't down for that, but it literally, I felt like Don Draper for a second in a tuxedo in the back of a 58 Bel Air. Pristine.
So what's funny, this is the second episode that I've done so far. The first episode was one of my keyboard player buddies who's really busy around here, and he used to play keyboards for a guy named Jared Neiman. Do you know him?
Yeah, Jared Neiman.
Yeah. And he was on here, and him and his wife met on Tinder. So, I got him going into radio mode, and I'm just like, you and your wife are one of the only success stories on Tinder. So I'm just cracking up to relearn that you and your wife
She'll deny it from day one.
Did she even know about the band prior to the match?
Man, I was still finishing up school, and so were a couple other people. So we hadn't really toured outside of Texas, and she's from Indiana. So that's kind of what led me to her as well. We were regionally known and stuff. So, just not much to really do with music in general. So every time I hung out with her, it was almost kind of I can relax and think kind of thing. So yeah, just when I met her then, but first thing I did obviously was, hey, come out to a show.
Yeah.
She had no idea. And then I get on stage and, so can't say
wait, you invited her to a Flatland show and you're just like, hey, let's go see this sick band tonight.
I don't think it was. I was just like, hey, I'm going to be out here, that night. And, she came out and we had a drink or two. She brought a friend. I was like, all right, well, hey, I'm going to go play. And then she was like, kind of scratching her head like, what? Okay. And then, we just did. And she came out the next night. And that's how I knew she liked me.
Yeah. Or she just was in love with the band.
She was digging my chili.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it, because it's kind of awkward, maybe via message just being like, yeah, I'm in a band, and then you got to convince her no, it's like a real band, it's I'm able to pay rent and not live in my mom's basement.
Yeah, well, it's at that time I think we were pretty dang close to it. Well, I don't even know if we were making rent, but it was we were all in on it, man. We were trying to finish up school. Reed was getting his chemical engineer degree from Texas Tech, and Cleto just graduated, and I was finishing up myself. So there'd be days where we play on Friday, Saturday, drive all day back Sunday from Houston, 10 hours, and then literally just kick Reed out of the car to go take a final. Like literally, we brought the van right up on campus.
Yeah. So I'm sure the bus. When did the bus come along?
Oh, I'd say we got the van 2016, the bus 2018, I think. So 2 years later, and that was just for bigger shows, where we felt like we needed it, like festivals when it's 110 out in Texas. Just needed a place to stay when there wasn't a green room.
Me and my buddies went to Bonnaroo for 3 years, like when I was 17, 18, and 19, which the first year is like the greatest experience of my life. I was like, I'll die here. And then the next year, I was really tired by the end of it. The third year, I'm like, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
What am I? Everybody's fucking ripped. Like, what am I doing here? But we would sit at the campsite. We would just sit in like the Toyota Corolla with the AC blasting for like 7 hours because it was just so hot. I'm sure like when you got the bus though from the van that it was like moving into a mansion.
It was like it really was. I remember the first couple weekends where we got it, like I didn't know how to fall asleep just because I was like, this is too good to be true. Like I did not know how to fall asleep. I was just so excited that we didn't have to go to a hotel at 2 a.m., wake up at 6 a.m. and then drive elsewhere. We had someone drive us in the middle of the night, which it's crazy.
Y'all got the same bus driver?
Oh, I wish I would probably give a limb, probably my left leg. I use that the least on stage, but for him to have Charles back, man, he was the Charles Banks.
Shout out Charles, the bus driver, baby.
Oh man, he was the most upstanding human I've ever met. But
and you want to trust the guy who's driving you around while you sleep, dude.
Oh yeah, this guy literally. I watched him take the tire off a wheel of the trailer, takes the whole wheel off the trailer, and changes a tire on that wheel by himself using a crowbar. Like he is all man, and like the dude is. You don't want to mess with him. He's open carrying. You can do that in Texas, but literally you sit up there. One time we're driving from New York to Texas, going through West Virginia. We talk about Jesus. We talk about all the good things he's doing for us, and what he's done, and literally the biggest life lessons. More or less, he got off the road so that he could his son, just be there for his son in high school. Yeah, just be a father. So, but yes, back to your question. No, we do not have Charles, but he's.
Let's get him back. Let's
get him
petition.
back. Right?
Let's rally the humble folks.
Charles, if you're watching this, and, we miss you.
Yeah,
come back.
Charles, the bus ain't the same.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you gotta love to, like whatever you're going through your head emotionally or whatever. When you meet like such a low key, humble person who just like has this like quiet gratitude for life. Like the guy on the bench, like on the city street, that's just like, it's a great day to be alive. It's a beautiful day. You gotta have that Travis Tritt mentality, baby.
That's what I'm striving for, man. Yeah. A lot of people can see that as being simple, but man, if it is, then that's what I want.
Did you guys ever, in the early days, did y'all come out the gate where it was just all original music, or would y'all do like bar shows and play like old covers and stuff?
Yeah. So when Cleto and we knew each other in Midland. He grew up in Midland as well. So he was writing songs like in high school and everything. And our first show was actually with Alex Knoll. It was the Jack Trio, Jason, Alex, Cleto. And we covered, we were listening to John Mayer's live at the Nokia, the John Mayer Trio. Yeah. So we were covering a lot of those songs. Like in high school. And then, when we got up to college, we listened to more country and we'd play those college bars out there. But yeah, it was a lot of covers at the first, and I think for like 1 year we came up with the name Flatland Cavalry, which is a whole other story, and used that name more or less as just playing, Garth Brooks, Friends in Lowe's Places, and Sweet Caroline. Yeah, it's at college bars, but yes.
Yeah. So when did the country shift happen, or like in Cleto's mind, or at least you guys as a unit? When was he like, I really want to pursue this kind of new age Texas country?
Yeah. I think it doesn't matter genre to me. A great song is a great song. You can put whatever over it. If it says something, I like to look at it as a bullseye. And the song, although the smallest of the circles, that's what it's what everyone's shooting for. And then you build something around that. So I mean, as far as genre goes, man, we were listening to the Lumineers, the Black Keys, Randy Rogers, just kind of Turnpike Troubadours. We listen to those guys. So like, I mean, it's everything, you know, it's a culmination of, I like to think it's Americana really, you know, it is country, it is Americana, it is a little folky. So it's really just, I don't think we're necessarily shooting for a genre, which, you know, that kind of helps out management, you know, hey, where do we put this? But, you know, we let others really decide and just kind of stay inspired by what we're listening to, really.
Right.
So that's kind of how it always has been.
It's kind of outdated to genre classify stuff, I think.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, there's just so many sub genres and everything. And, you know, in y'all's song, Country Is from Welcome to Countryland. Sounds like Cleto kind of throws that down. Country is what country means to you. I know I've had to do so much explaining, like, when did you start wearing a cowboy hat and, you know, singing George Jones songs and stuff?
Because it's cool as shit.
Because it's fun.
Yeah, right. There doesn't have to be much more explanation to that. You
Cowboys are back. Chicks like Yellowstone. Like, freaking that too. What's crazy is, y'all got, you know, Flatland is kind of the main project, I guess. And then Cleto and those guys got Panhandlers going on. And then they get that song in Yellowstone. And then like overnight, everyone's freaking out about the Panhandlers and stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy how just like that one little brush of exposure can just transform the streams. I guess you guys, you know, to the age of streams or CD sales, coming in and supplying your income is dead.
Yeah, I mean, you
get
really
infinitely
is,
more money from merch than you do from the Spotify, right?
You know, merch keeps gas in the tank. You know, it really does help. But now at the point, you know, streams, they pay by some algorithm. I could not tell you how, whatever. Weirdly enough, one of the big sellers in our merch is vinyl. People dig the vintage, the old school feel of us, I guess. And so we try to get vinyl going, and it's really hard to find people to actually make it. But it's something that's kind of coming back, you know?
Yeah, I think, well, too, the vinyl is like, it's almost like it's big enough to be like a poster. You can hang it on the wall, and then you can also stuff shit inside it when you're selling it. So and then they got those colored ones now. So have y'all done any colored ones?
Oh yeah, there's been plenty of those. We just come out with different collections and say, hey, we bought X amount, a couple hundred of these, and these ones are orange, like for humble folks, or these ones for yellow for humble folks. Yeah. But yeah, you can do a lot with it. You know, the second full length Homeland Insecurity, actually, if you open it up, there's a full comic book and a full story that
I've actually got that sitting around here somewhere.
Yeah, man, and not a lot of people know that. I was like, man, maybe we should tell people about that. I guess, you know, at the time we didn't really think about, you know, throwing it out on the megaphone. We just wanted to create something cool. It was just a blast, you know, being able to just create something.
Who did that, and whose idea? Who wrote it? And then...
it was Cleto, and then the guy that produced it, guy named Scott Ferris, and he's
what's up, Scott?
Yeah, what up, Scott Ferris? We still work with him today, man, and I'll give that guy a shout out. He's a keystone to, you know, how this all started, man. He's the one that said, all right, look at these scrubs, but yeah, come into my studio. I believe in you guys, even when myself didn't even believe in myself, and he's just like, you got this, and kind of just took us under his wing for 2 full lengths in that first EP.
So did he draw it? Or
I think he did a little. I don't think he drew.
What do you mean when you say he produced it?
He produced. He worked with the songs to make sure, hey, which songs work, and, you know, polishing the songs, the lyrics themselves, and then he was engineering, and he
oh my
had
god!
you know?
Sorry to interrupt you. I thought we were talking about the comic book the whole time.
Okay.
And I was like, who wrote the comic book, and then who drew that? So sorry if we led you to believe that Scott drew the comic book, because I was so excited about that.
He was the contact, and he was the for a guy he knew out in California. I couldn't tell you the name of it, but more or less that guy facilitated a lot of that album, music and the comic book.
Wow.
But
it looks so legit. I mean, it looks like a real graphic novel.
Yeah, it's a concept album. If you listen to the album while reading the comic book, Like the story goes with every song.
It's kind of like listening to The Wall over
Seriously.
what is it? The Wizard of Oz. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, no, I've never heard
They say
of
like if you start The Wall, the Pink Floyd album, like at the moment that the MGM line comes up, it's like some people do when they're like tripping acid or something. I think it's called like there's a name for it. It's like over the rainbow wall or something. It's like a thing though. It's
Oh no.
probably in
I'll
that.
have to look that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Next time y'all are all looking at the mountains together.
Yeah, right.
Sipping on liquid gummies, baby.
Yeah. You should play The Wall, man.
Yeah.
There's a full-length movie about like that's a concept album too. Like there's a full movie that goes with it that those guys made too, right? Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I think so.
I still haven't seen that. I should watch that.
I don't know much about the Floyd myself.
Yeah, I don't know either. I know my dad's a big fan. I'll have to ask him.
All of our dads are big fans of the.
Oh yeah.
When we would be writing songs and like we were just obsessed with Metallica in like our junior high years. So when we really started, rocking, and I remember my dad would just be like, "Buddy, Metallica ain't got one good song other than Enter the Sandman." He's like, "Y'all need to be doing stuff more like Hold On Loosely."
You know what? Your dad's right. Is your dad Hank Hill also?
My dad repping my hogs. He's just about as Arkansas as it gets.
Love it.
And he saw you guys that night because like I'll send him a song and I don't know, I kind of just really trust dad's input on tunes because it's so simple and like to the point. It's kind of like if the blue collar, like he's my test. I'll send him a song and if he gets it, I know it's a good song. And he came to that concert and I was prepping him to see you guys, and I think he really liked Some Things Never Change or whatever. But he was like, "Man, them Flatland boys," he's like, "they're pretty good, man." He's also a huge Randy Rogers fan. Like he grew up not grew up, but he lived in Fort Worth and several of the Texas hubs because he works for the railroad. And he'd been to Billy Bob's and stuff. So I was like, Flatland and them sold out Billy Bob's. He's like, "Damn, dude." He's like, "I remember seeing Randy Rogers band and Rodney Carrington there."
Yeah, Rodney Carrington too.
Yeah, with my buddy Hank Hill.
Yeah. Damn it, Bobby.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's great. And so you so when did you get serious about playing the drums? Or like what song made you really like do the different thing from like, "Mom, Dad, I want a drum kit," to like, "I'm going to sit down here and drill it out"?
Yeah. Like, man, I'm still unraveling those thoughts now, kind of taking back to where I am currently in my musical career and everything. Like, I think I was the new kid in town. I'd moved to a small farming community as a kid and then moved back to Midland. And I was the new kid in town, didn't know anybody that summer. And Mom, didn't want me just sitting there playing video games. So she gave me my cousin's drum set. And that was really, the first time there was no internet or like, we had dial-up internet, but I couldn't really get on. So I didn't even know how to put this thing together. It took me a couple weeks just to figure out how to put this thing together. And then I remember I was playing like Guitar Hero or Rock Band, and I was starting to hear like Black Sabbath and Paint It Black by the Stones and like all these other songs. So I just kind of like get on my iPod shuffle and just like download those songs and then kind of listen and just do what I can. And then take that to when I meet some people in high school, Cleto, and then all the way up to college. Like even in college, I want to be occupational therapist, right? I didn't necessarily think I would really be able to play at a level like this. I never gave myself enough credit for it. Until, you meet the guys. I met the guys in Flatland and, we just play honky tonks and smaller clubs and it just kind of grows. And, I eventually got my OT degree. And I was living in Jacksonville at the time because Liz has got a job there. And, I followed her over there. And when COVID hit, I think that was one monumental moment when I was like, okay, are we going to do this for real, or is Jason going to do this for real, or like, is he going all in, or just kind of going to do it as a fun side thing, which is totally great. But I think it came to a moment where I was just like, this is too good and it's growing, not to dive in deeper, just to kind of give up on a whim, especially when those guys were all in. So I would even say, even after college, there were moments where just like, oh, this is cool, this is fun, we'll just see where it goes, instead of, as of now, I'm currently trying to figure out, make my own, pseudo drum studio in my new place, and just like really diving into that and trying to figure out Logic and Ableton, all that stuff. Like those are my new goals, as opposed to just like, hey, let's have a couple beers and play a show.
So you can figure out how to produce those 808s finally.
Exactly.
It always comes back to the
clap
808s.
Tracks, 808s, next album. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm still unraveling, my own musical career and kind of the last 10 years in my head. But yeah, like great words of Ringo Starr. I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, I'm just happy to be here. Peace and love, everyone. Peace and love.
Dang,
He makes very little sense these days. It's like, oh, everyone, my friend died, I've known him for 47 years.
Dude, that's actually pretty good. You could start a Beatles tribute band, man. You kind of got like the John Lennon there, the George Harrison look, kind of.
Yeah, I do a lot of I used to want to be a voice actor. That kind of ties.
I think you could, dude.
I've got most all the Beatles down. Paul's more in the back of the throat. He's not. Talk. It's in the back, man. Yeah. John's more in the bottom, like that, and you've got to be very thoughtful about your words. Ringo's just very confused. All the peace and love. So you met Cleto in high school, and you and him are the oldest friends of the group, right?
Yeah. We met in 8th grade in Miss Barbier's U.S. history class at Abel Junior High.
Shout out Miss Barb.
Miss Barb.
Hope
you're still doing well.
Which we know she's gonna watch every minute of
this.
God bless her. And so, like, I think even just buddies that I've known that I haven't had like a career bond or a music bond with, I've known for 12, 15 years or something, and you're just out drinking beers, playing pool, and you're just like, that meme of Paul Rudd on Hot Ones where you're just like, look at us. Who would have thought we'd be here?
Dude, we have those moments all the time, man. It's just like, this is goofy.
Especially after like something big happens, like you have like a big sold out show at, you probably knew, Billy Bob's was the shit long before you ever even thought about playing it.
Sure. So, we'll be on the bus or something, just everyone's going to sleep and we're brushing our teeth and we're just like, isn't this weird?
Can you fucking believe
it? Like, this is weird, man.
And it seems to me, Cleto seems, I've never met him, but he seems like a pretty low key guy. And so you do a lot of like the social media, almost like talking to the crowd more than he does, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, at least on the social side, like, when we first started out before Nando came, I was, kind of working that as well. And once again, I'm an extrovert. I've never met a stranger really. So, I mean, I'm always chomping at the bits to meet someone new. So, but yeah, Cleto's, he's more the quiet conservative one, but you get out on stage and he's talking to, it's a conversation between the crowd and him. So,
yeah, I noticed even just from between seeing y'all from October to February, that y'all come up with all these new bits and like crowd.
I think it kind of gives the crowd permission, might be a good word, for them just to like, all right, it's okay to yell, it's okay to just like hoot and holler and have a good time.
It really gives that impression, like, we're your friends and we're here to have fun with you.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier, attitude and perspective. I think having a good attitude and just being a fun hang can help you get in so many better situations.
Sure.
Than like you can be like the most talented guy in the world, but if you have a shitty attitude, nobody wants to hang out with you. Like they're not going to take you on the road.
Ask any guy on tour. It's always the hang that gets someone fired because they're slandering someone else in secret, or it's just because they're more or less bringing down the vibe. Like if you get called out for a trial session, it's already known you can do the gig. They're just seeing if you can mesh, because essentially you're living with 11 other dudes on a pirate ship on the interstate. So
ahoy, mateys!
Yeah, man. So it is It's a different life.
I've always thought too. Well, because too, you kind of have to have like the visual element. Like you kind of all have to like look like a similar vibe. Like you're all from the same pirate ship.
Yeah.
And then Hang and you guys are y'all running a 6-piece now?
Yeah, we're running a 6-piece. We got a guy named Adam Gallegos. He's from Carlsbad, New Mexico, aka Carl Swag, New Mexico, bro.
Carl Swag, shout out Carl Swag, baby.
We found him in Lubbock. I guess Cleto and John, our bass player, already knew him, and then he did one of our songs, "Devil Off My Back," has this killer mandolin part that we got some outside musician to do, and he was playing that on mandolin, and was like, holy moly, like this guy is the real deal. And yeah, man, we got him on, and musically, I feel like he's the most literate musically. So any ideas that someone has, he can transcribe it and just kind of help communicate it to the rest of the band. And then and then John, he's our MD, like your music director. So he's kind of giving direction for the live show and everything, and it just works, man. So.
Adam, he plays keys too, right?
Plays keys.
So
banjo.
I saw a video of his keys collapsing on stage.
Yeah, that was out in Houston, and what it is, we share a riser, the thing behind stage that comes up about 2 feet, and I'm a big guy. We know this, and we share a riser. It's the same.
He hit his head on the way walking in.
Yeah,
I
right?
should have warned him because how tall are you?
6'4".
I'm 6'3" without the boots, so you're like an inch taller than me, and I like walking in drunk after a gig or something, just
nail your head.
Luckily, the cowboy hat, protects me a lot. Anyway,
Right?
sorry, you were saying the keys.
Oh yeah, his keys fell, man. And sometimes when I play, it's no, and I'm getting after it. I'm moving, and I guess I was just moving so hard, and he was too. It was like the end of the night. We're just, it was like a dance party almost, and he was just jumping up and down, and that piano he just looks down for 2 seconds, and just gets back after it like and thank God someone got it on video.
Yeah. I feel like at this point, Nando's just got 50 cam. He's got like a 360 cam set up. He's gonna
He's got eyes like a mosquito, just like 50 different lenses everywhere.
And I love where were y'all playing? Y'all did one real big show like a month or two ago where he just like came out and ripped his shirt off in front of the whole crowd. That's what I'm saying, dude. He is the mascot of Flatland Cavalry.
Yeah. We got in trouble in Chattanooga for doing that. It was a Live Nation venue, and yeah, it was not a good thing because you can't show beer anybody a can of beer, and more or less he's got like this weird natural ability to take his shirt off in less. I think we got it in 0.6 seconds where he just takes it off, and he did that in front of stage and just shotgunned a beer. The whole thing took like less than 2 seconds. It was amazing.
That's
really
incredible.
It was like some Guinness World Record stuff. We were just kind of wanting to show that off instead of getting a laugh or anything. But and the crowd gets wild. But we kind of quit doing that after we started getting in trouble.
He's like the Joey Chestnut of taking his shirt off. You know who Joey Chestnut is, right?
No.
He's the American hot dog champion
the
guy.
Chestnut brothers.
I don't know if he has a brother. I just know Joey Chestnut. He wins every year by like 25, and he keeps beating his record. Like he's done like 80 hot dogs in like 10 minutes or something. And it's always on the 4th of July.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
This year, somebody was there like protesting some like Supreme Court stuff or whatever. A Darth Vader costume. Joey is stuffing his face with hot dogs and buns, and this guy like comes up to assault him. And he puts the guy in a headlock, throws him down, and continues to win the competition.
Oh my gosh!
It's I
need that on the bus. I think, man.
Yeah.
Dude. Dude, I was about to say, is there any way we can pull that up on this monitor? That would be killer.
That's the one thing I'm missing that I'm gonna have in the future. I just need an HDMI cable to the USB-C cable. So I need that to go to my computer, and then I can like screen record that and have that up there for us to look at stuff. Or if we Zoom somebody in or like Bluetooth call, get, Charles, the bus driver, or Cleto Cordero to call in, and then whatever is coming through our mics, he'll be able to hear through the Bluetooth of this board thing right here.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did my homework, baby. I'm ready for I'm gonna have my dad call in, give us some like Hank Hill
yes
feedback.
But sorry, not to stop you on on the hot dog thing. So we're on the bus. I forgot what show it was. It might have been somewhere like Little Rock or somewhere. But we were watching. We were watching a 30 for 30 on ESPN. These documentaries, a 30 for 30 on the hot dog eating contest. They have one, and it is the single most hilarious thing ever because it creates this narrative like hot dog eating is life. There's people that have made careers like. Literally fed themselves and their family, no pun intended, but like off eating hot dogs, had this career. Like, and there's like these two brothers, I couldn't tell you their name. And then there's Kobayashi, of course, you know, all in the 2000s, and they're really trying to make it a thing. You know, it is a thing. It is a thing. And like, no knock on the, hot dog eating contest community, but like, it was the single funniest thing just because it was so bizarre. Of like being able to like make a full career off gorging yourself.
Yeah, it's repulsive to watch.
It really is.
I mean, I'm also of the fundamental belief that Joey Chestnut is the greatest American athlete. I mean, what is it? Yeah, imagine your kids too. Like, every kid wants to be his dad. If like your dad is Joey Chestnut and you're growing up and you're just like, at home eating hot dogs while your dad's on TV. And your mom's just like, quit eating those hot dogs. I want to be just like my dad. Just stuffing myself with sausages.
Man, and like after that 30 for 30 that we watched, everybody was just like, hey man, we should get glizzies on the rider. The riders, the sheet of paper is just kind of things we need, like water, and, food, everything,
in the green room,
in the green room, backstage. So someone said we should get hot dogs and we should get glizzies because that's also is
that a brand of hot dog?
No, it's an informal nomenclature. It's a street name for hot dogs, glizzies.
Yeah, never heard that.
I did a deep dive. It's stupid, but more or less the Gen Z kids are calling it glizzies now. So but afterwards, like, and this is all on when we're on, I think, the Far Out West tour, like, so or a little after. We've been on the road, like I said, the vortex hits after 2 weeks. We've been on the road for like 6 weeks. So everyone's just kind of getting a little weird and just like, and like this weird obsession was just like, man, we want hot dogs, And I guess it still is the summer of glizziitis over in Flatland, so don't get too close.
Hot glizz summer, baby.
Hot glizz summer. Yeah.
That's good shit, dude. Yeah, man. So one more thing I wanted to ask you, too, we were saying like in the last couple years, all these huge shows you play, the band's taking off. Y'all got like 20 million streams on your biggest songs on Spotify, at least I've seen, because they're always popping up for me. And you've got married recently. And do you feel like kind of the uncertainty that comes along with the transition from youth to adulthood is subsiding, and you're like really on a path where you're like, I feel, call me Gary Allen, baby, I'm right where I need to be.
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, I feel the support. I feel the support from the band. I feel the support from people listening to the music and, fans of it all. So, I mean, that does subside, any uncertainties, but I think uncertainties always creep up on you, no matter what. But yeah, it feels good knowing that there's a plan. There hasn't always been a plan, and like now we've got great people on our side. Chris Cappy over at Make Wake and that his whole team, and then Dylan Wright, who is also our tour manager forever, and he's a good friend of mine. He's got his own management. He's doing people with like Dylan Carmichael and all that stuff. And
have you run into Dylan before? Him?
Yeah.
He's such a monster.
He is. He literally. He is just he's a big guy with a deep voice, and it's it bellows in the room.
Yeah.
Dylan Carmichael. He's a sweet guy. But
love his song "Son of a."
Yeah, Son of a. Yeah. He's got plenty of them. There was one. Him and his girl. They just got back from a great date, and I think he was going to throw a fire on. And then when he got back, his girl was asleep, and like he was just like doing all the things to prepare for
sawed logs,
sawn logs.
Yeah, I knew.
Okay,
I was like, I know what that is.
Yeah, okay. So I'm not crazy, but anyways, that song made me actually laugh out loud by myself. I thought it was Just catchy. It was just funny.
Yeah. He does. He's got such a good voice and such a strong voice. A lot of guys that do that kind of thing have to like force that like grit and like gravel.
Sure.
Just clearly like it's in his bones. So his fiddle player plays with me.
Oh, his fiddle player is great.
Broadway. His name is Jay Calder. And so I've been telling him to look out for Wes, and I was like, you're gonna run into these guys on the road. I know you're
Yeah.
Shout out Jake. You better come on the podcast in a week. And I'm sure that you will meet Jason at some point, because you guys got the on the same management bill. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming in and talking to me for a little bit. I know took a bit of a risk coming out here. You never know if a guy's a serial killer, but if you meet him at a coffee shop 6 months prior.
Yeah. Well, that would have been a crazy turn of events. You don't strike me as a serial killer, but if that happened today, then man, that'd have been crazy as shit. So I'm glad it didn't, man.
That's how you would really know you're famous, dude. You guys like, holy shit, guys! Like, we're in big territory. Like, our drummer went to do an interview and got murdered. Like,
yeah, right.
We're just too big.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to dial it back. So yes, to tie it all back in, Jason Albers, everybody, the drummer of Flatland Cavalry. They have a new song coming out on Friday, August 26th. It's called Mountain Song.
Mountain Song.
They're one of my favorite bands in the world right now. I can't wait to see them live again. And thank you so much for joining me, brother.
This was fun, man. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do it again sometime when I got my HDMI cable.
Right on. We'll watch silly videos.
And one of these days when I can quit sinking money into a podcast and record some music, I'll lurch my way on to opening for you guys at the Waffle House in East Nashville.
Come on.
for your big show. So Jason Albers, everybody, thanks so much, brother. And be safe going on tour this weekend. Back on the road, my man.
Will do.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you.
Signing off, baby.